Montezuma II, also known as Moctezuma Xocoyotzin, was born around the year 1466 and ascended to the throne of the Aztec Empire in 1502 following the death of his uncle, Ahuitzotl. He was a ruler of great power in a wealthy and mighty empire. Montezuma II ruled the Aztec Empire from the capital city of Tenochtitlan, now Mexico City, which was then one of the largest and most advanced cities in the world. He held absolute authority over a vast empire that extended from present-day Mexico to central parts of Central America. Montezuma II was known as a skillful ruler in managing central governance. He established a strong and effective bureaucracy to control administration, taxation, and order across the empire. He also controlled the military and the economy of the state. Under Montezuma II's leadership, the Aztec Empire continued to expand through military campaigns and diplomatic policies. This brought new territories into the empire, increasing Aztec influence and wealth. The economy of the Aztec Empire flourished during Montezuma II's reign. Productive agriculture, a complex trading system, and efficient management of natural resources allowed the empire to accumulate substantial income and wealth. Montezuma II was known to live in luxury and possessed great wealth. He owned treasures such as jewelry, luxurious clothing, and properties that reflected his status as a powerful and prosperous ruler. Montezuma II was also a patron of the arts, culture, and Aztec religion. He built monumental structures, temples, and impressive palaces. His influence can be seen in Aztec art, architecture, and religious practices. However, despite Montezuma II's success in building a prosperous and strong empire, the end of his reign was marked by the arrival of Spanish conquerors. In 1519, Spanish explorers led by Hernán Cortés arrived on the coast of Mexico. Their arrival marked the beginning of the encounter between the advanced Aztec world and the Spanish conquerors. This arrival significantly altered the course of Mexican and Central American history. Montezuma II heard of the Spanish arrival, and there was a belief among some Aztec people that Hernán Cortés might be the incarnation of the god Quetzalcoatl, a deity of wisdom believed to return. This belief created mixed feelings in Montezuma's mind and among the Aztec elites. In this atmosphere, Montezuma II decided to allow Cortés and his troops to enter the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan. Montezuma welcomed them warmly and treated them as important guests, even offering valuable gifts. However, this action opened the door for the Spanish to manipulate the situation and influence political decisions within the empire. Cortés and his troops sought to exploit this situation. They took control of important temples, took Montezuma II as a prisoner though in a respected status, and effectively expanded their presence in the empire. The presence of the Spanish and the special treatment given to them by Montezuma II began to create dissatisfaction among the Aztec people. Although Montezuma may have hoped to maintain peace and preserve the status quo, the Spanish arrival actually paved the way for them to exploit the situation and eventually triggered a rebellion. The dissatisfaction with Montezuma and the special treatment of the Spanish eventually led to protests and rebellion among the Aztec people. Some leaders and groups initiated a rebellion to remove Spanish influence and restore power to the Aztec people. Montezuma II, as the Aztec ruler, attempted to calm this rebellion. However, his attempts to mediate the situation may have been deemed inadequate by some factions. Some Aztec individuals saw him as being too accommodating to the Spanish and believed he should have protected the honor and interests of their nation. In a tense and escalating situation, Montezuma II then attempted to address the rebellion by speaking to the people from his palace balcony. However, this only further fueled anger and dissatisfaction. In trying to appease the crowd, Montezuma may not have received the support he had hoped for. In the context of the chaos, Montezuma II was captured by the Spanish forces on June 29, 1520. Montezuma II, now a Spanish captive, was used as a tool of control. The Spanish hoped that by holding Montezuma, they could control and influence the Aztec people's reactions and ensure stability. However, this capture only escalated tensions and conflicts. Montezuma attempted to calm his people by inviting several nobles to discuss the situation. Nevertheless, the discussions between Moctezuma and the Aztec leaders were soon followed by violence. The Aztec people, disillusioned with their leader, left Montezuma and named his brother Cuitlahuac as his replacement. In an effort to calm his people, and undoubtedly under pressure from the Spanish, Montezuma was struck by a hail of stones, likely carried out by his own people. However, Native texts and historical informants claim that Cortés' troops stabbed Montezuma to death. In other indigenous histories, the Aztecs found Montezuma dead from strangulation in his palace. The consequences of Montezuma's death were profound. The Spanish were forced to flee the city and sought refuge in Tlaxcala. They formed alliances with the native inhabitants there to conquer Tenochtitlan, offering the Tlaxcalans control over Tenochtitlan and freedom from tribute. Montezuma was succeeded by his younger brother Cuitlahuac, who died shortly afterward during a smallpox epidemic. He was followed by his teenage nephew, Cuauhtémoc. During the city's siege, Moctezuma's children were killed by the Aztecs, possibly because they wanted to surrender. In the following year, the Aztec Empire had fallen to the hands of the Spanish forces and their Native American allies, particularly the Tlaxcalans, who were traditional enemies of the Aztecs. Whatever the exact cause, Montezuma's death occurred in the context of a siege and escalating conflict between the Spanish and the Aztecs. The death of Montezuma became a pivotal moment in the tragic downfall of the Aztec Empire and the transformative history of Central America. In the end, the story of Montezuma II, the rebellion, the capture, and his mysterious death reflects the chaos, uncertainty, and complexity of the events that unfolded during the dramatic encounter between the Aztec world and Spanish conquerors.